Predictions. Today we have predictions on many things, including the housing market from the great Berdini. Your prediction, sir?
O.J. Simpson and spam. Name two things that should spend the next 18 years in a can. My name is Barry Horvath, and this is Moving Forward TV with your local market update.
Hi, and I'm DeLynn Gaston. Thank you for joining us today. So on today's show,
we have
great Berdini
predictions.
We're talking about some predictions, and primarily, obviously, having to do with the housing market.
Yes, yes, we do.
Not necessarily
the
spam.
Spam in a can. I thought that was funny.
That was very funny, or O.J. Simpson. But we won't go there.
Yeah, poor O.J. Why are we picking on him? You know why?
Because he should be in prison?
All right, that's another show. Let's talk about the housing outlook. We're going to get 5 expert opinions on what's going on in the housing market, you know, the inventory, the whole situation, and then we're going to give 2 novice ones. We're the novices.
Yeah, we're the novices. So primarily what we're talking about is for the rest of 2017. We came across this fantastic article that talks about some of the things, because obviously we know the predictions in the first half of the year didn't happen. They were talking about all kinds of things like the interest rates were going to skyrocket, and you know, the bottom was going to fall out, and all kinds of like, you know, naysayers didn't happen.
And they said inventory levels would even out. And they haven't. So
So none of that happened. So let's talk more about predictions that may or may not happen.
And of course, our predictions are going to be on a national level. What you see and experience on a local level may vary from this. But I think it's important for our buyers, sellers, and real estate professionals to be in tune with what's going on. And, you know, because it's been a good time for people in the industry.
It has. But, you know what, though, I wanted to say, too, quite frankly, even though, like you said, and this is all national statistics and things that we're going to chat about here, in reading this and going through this stuff, you know what? It's not all that far off from our local market here in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay market is one of the hottest in the country.
Yeah, so this stuff really does kind of pertain to our area
I need my
quite
turban,
a bit, actually.
I need my turban to be really effective on this show. So.
So one of the things, so let's start first with, we're going to kind of do this newsy. So I'm going to start with, okay, so how bad is the inventory shortage plaguing the housing market right now? One measure of the lack of solutions is that some of the experts are looking over the horizon at the death of the baby boomers, because quite frankly, baby boomers own a majority of the owner-occupied homes in the United States right now. That's according to one of the Trulia experts, economists. So the baby boomers, our youngest baby boomer is turning 53 years old this year.
That's hard to believe.
I know. So we still have the baby boomer generation turning 53. That's our youngest one. So from 53 up, they own the majority of the housing market right now.
Right.
So, and they're staying put.
Yep, they're not moving.
They're not moving.
They're not downsizing. They're not upsizing.
No.
You know, it's so funny we talk about.
They're staying put. But they're dying.
Yes, I know, because they're dying young.
So
baby
that's
boomers are now turning 53. And
the youngest ones.
The youngest ones, yes. And people, I think, in that segment just aren't, you know, they're not ready to downsize quite yet, a lot of them. And they're certainly not moving up because they're not having more children, unless maybe the kids are moving home.
Right.
We're seeing more of that where families are housing together.
Yes, you're right. They say that
median prices keep going up, and you know, middle America is not going to be able to afford to buy a home at some point when these prices keep going up. So
they say when the children move out, it's a little scary, because when they move back, they multiply.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's true.
You've experienced that,
yes,
haven't you?
Have. Yes, I have.
Okay, so let's start with some of the predictions and stuff. So you want to go for the, you want me to read the first prediction, or you want to read it?
No, that's fine. I got
right.
this. I got this. So one of the predictions right now is that inventory will remain in albatross. And low inventory is a hidden force influencing every other housing market stat. The reason that prices go up and why new listings are selling an unprecedented clip is as everyone's talking about tight inventory. But you know, right now, according to Zillow, the number of homes for sales is about equal to the housing supply in 1994.
I thought that was very interesting.
I did
going.
too.
Sorry.
So it's all right if you want to interrupt me. There's 63 million more people that live in the United States than they did back in 94, which was 23 years ago. And since there aren't any new listings, but there really aren't nearly enough, the overflow is greater than the inflow at this point. At some point, something has to give.
That's right.
And in general, buyers at the high end of the market will have more options, since luxury homes definitely take, and we've experienced this, longer to sell. And builders are concentrating on that segment. And you know, one of the things is that builders' profit margins on the lower end housing is just not there.
They're not making any money.
They can't make money on that 200,000 median house. You know, even in some of the neighborhoods we're seeing by us in that 54 corridor.
I know.
There's $500,000 spec homes now, which we've never seen before.
And
so
certainly not a first-time home buyer.
No, it's not going to step in this.
No, because the builders need to make more money.
And supply was flat through the first quarter, and then it declined to 8.9 in the second quarter. Even if that ends up at the low point, there's little reason to believe there's a true turnaround is imminent. New construction is expected to add 610,000 homes this year.
Which sounds like a lot, but really is not.
It's really not when you think about it. So, you know, and more people are going to do renovations to their current homes and stay in them longer. So we're seeing more remodels too.
Right. So, and that's what I was going to say. So that's kind of some of the important stuff in this particular thing that first of all, even though new building is adding $610,000 houses, sounds like a ton. Like we said, the whole 54 corridor, all the houses that's going up over there. However, it's still only about 65% of the historical average.
Yeah,
that's low.
That's very low.
That's very low. So although it sounds like it. And the other thing that I thought was really cool about this particular prediction is when it said the housing supply, homes for sale is about equal to where it was in 1994. However, there's 63 million more people living in the United States right now than there was 23 years ago in 1994. 63 million more people who need housing. That's your problem. So although this housing...
Fix it, DeLynn.
Fix
it. Fix it.
Well, so how you fix it? Well, you build more houses. Well, they're only building 600,000 more houses. That's not enough to cover 63 million more people.
And already a lot of your counties are landlocked. You know, they have to tear down old properties, like Pinellas, for example. There's really...
You can't fit anything else in Pinellas.
Pinellas County is overbuilt, okay?
Yeah.
Pasco still has some land. Hernando still has land. So, you know, that's the immediate Bay Area right here. So, you know, it's hard to build when you don't have land. So at what point are we done?
I know.
So,
and how do we fix this
without
building?
This is what,
if we can't build.
This is why we do the predictions. This is why we're going to take a break. My prediction is we're going to take a break right now, and we'll be right back. Let's see if I'm right. My prediction is DeLynn is going to read the next prediction on the housing market.
Because we just talked about it.
Oh, really?
I do too.
I heard a really funny joke.
Okay.
But I'm not going to tell it.
Oh, man.
We're going to have to watch next week to hear the next joke. Okay? Because
Okay.
only one a week.
One a week, and yes, that one's good. But yeah, we have had some good ones. Okay, so here's the second of the 5 predictions, and I think this one is really good and has a lot of meat to it as well. So climbing demand.
That's low carb meat, right?
Climbing demand will continue to push prices higher. We've all seen the prices going up. So this is what it says. Thanks to the low inventory and high demand, national home prices were up 5.58% through May, according to the National Home Price Index. Demand is not expected to dissipate anytime soon. 2 reasons that this is going on. Number 1, policy, and number 2, millennials, believe it or not. So let's take a look at both of those.
Let's talk about those policies anyway.
The Trump administration policies are overemphasizing demand and underemphasizing supply. Policies that push up demand are only going to make price growth worse.
All right, so
let's talk about those 2 policies. Let's take first the policies,
all
right.
So first of all, I want everybody to know this is not Fox News, so don't expect to be overly entertained by what we're talking about with Trump here, okay?
And don't expect our jibber jabber to be like,
it's probably not
perfectly said. We might mumble or
we might mumble, we might fumble. So 2 of the big policies is, number 1 is the Dodd-Frank Act. Dodd-Frank was put out in 2011.
Right, so that we can hang ourselves.
Rumor is it, and really basically the main core, it's, what is it, 611 pages or something like that?
No, it's 1,000 pages.
Whatever.
1,000 pages.
We tried to read some of it, but most of you tuned out, okay? But the big part of that law that was put in place for mortgage lending was the fact that the borrower must prove the ability to repay.
Right.
So you're not going to get a loan if you can't repay. We're not doing stated income loans.
They even have a little thing, and they call it ATR. Trust me, in the whole thing it says the ATR. The ATR is ability to repay.
So
must be verified.
Back when the last housing bust happened, and I know you were there, I was there, we lived through it.
I was there.
We were doing loans for stated income, which means you had to prove no income.
Yep.
And you had,
no assets, you didn't have to prove anything.
All you had to do is say, yeah, this is what I got. This is how much I make.
Let's give him a
and
loan.
You could qualify for a loan. So people who worked at Walmart making $7 an hour, $7.25 at that time, could lie about their income and qualify to buy 10 investment homes and never afford it. They lost a tenant, boom, they're in trouble, or they'd flip it. That's the big part. So Trump is working on dismantling this to loosen the housing market.
Right.
And there's
because so many people complain that, oh, it's too hard to get a loan, it's too hard to get. No, it's not. You just have to verify things and you have to qualify. So hopefully he's not going to dismantle the whole thing, because there are definite parts to that that are good.
Right. There are some parts that really are effective, and not to get, we don't want to get into discussion, but we know that some things he's tried to do have failed.
Yes.
The healthcare thing, that went nowhere.
Right.
Some experts say that could happen with
work in progress. And honestly, Barry, I think a lot of this is going to be a work in progress. But just some of the stuff that is happening, they are trying to dismantle it. The whole thing shouldn't be dismantled, because there's definitely some good parts to it.
Yeah, there are. And actually, Fannie Mae, we've already seen some changes.
Yeah,
they are trying to make it easier. But to dismantle the whole program might be a little scary for some people.
And you and I have talked about this before, because quite frankly, the stuff that was put in, it needed to be changed.
Right.
Things needed to be fixed. But the pendulum went from no income, no asset, just, as long as you had a pulse, you got a loan, way over to almost nobody could. So we're trying to bring it back in line. And that's what some of the, back in April, Fannie Mae loosened up on some of their guidelines with regards to certain qualifications. We've seen FHA make some lighter changes and things like that. So hopefully not drastic, but definitely
clearly
loosening a little bit.
Clearly, Dodd-Frank has not dragged down the market. I mean, look at where we're at and what's going on. People are buying. People are getting loans approved every single day. And it's qualified
I was just going to say that. And this time they can afford it.
They can afford it.
Right.
So
right. So this is much better. And now the second thing on policies that they were talking about was doubling the standard tax deduction.
So people would get a lot of people that if you own a median home now, the standard deduction you know, you may or may not qualify to even get a tax break for owning a home. So if they make it a double deduction,
which would be real helpful,
that could be helpful and give people more incentive to buy.
But from the market standpoint, that is going to make more people want to go into home ownership. So of course that's going to continue to stimulate our market, which is great. But again, when you got no houses to sell, therein where's the problem? All right, so the second part of that
it's about the millennials.
Is about the millennials.
So tell us about the millennials, DeLynn.
So the millennials, they're getting older, first of all, and so they've moved out of their parents' basements.
Yes.
And now they're moving into their 30s and they want to buy houses. Remember what we said before about the baby boomers not moving out of their houses, the houses that the millennials would be buying. So they're not moving up. So there's no move ups going on. So here's two things that I thought was pretty interesting in this. For the last 2 quarters, the number of new owner occupied households was greater than the number of new rented households. Isn't that interesting?
That is very interesting.
Which means more people are buying than renting. Well, that we certainly know that in our area. It is cheaper right now to own a home and pay a mortgage payment than it is to rent. Rents are skyrocketing.
Rents are skyrocketing, and the reason they're skyrocketing is, again, that lower median priced home, you can't find them anymore.
Right.
So investors have kind of, you know, they're getting sticker shock, I think, from some of the pricing out there. You know, it doesn't make sense for me as an investor, because I have some rental properties, to spend $200,000 on a place and try and rent it out for $1,500 a month.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't cash flow.
No.
It doesn't.
No.
If that AC breaks, I mean, you know, I'm losing money.
Yep.
So that and it makes sense of what's going on there. But all right,
Number 3.
Let's get on to number 3. So you want me to check this out and read it to you?
Yes.
Fine. All right, we're gonna have to go through this one fast, or we're gonna have to.
And this one has a lot of meat.
Affordable housing will be elusive. Elusive. I love that word.
Which is what we were just talking about.
The median value of homes listed or not in the U.S. is $200,000. Hey, remember I always use that number.
Our area, for what it's worth, is about $225 right now.
Yep. So this is according to Zillow. Given recent job and income growth, most American households can afford that price, but good luck actually finding a place listed for that much. The median home sold for $263,800 in June, according to the National Association of Realtors. And according to Trulier, starter homes are using an increasing share of their income to pay for housing. All right, so what does that mean?
So that means people are putting more of it. Well, first of all, the home prices are going up. So, you know, our area, let's just break it down, and I had some notes written earlier. So we have 100,000 now. This is just our area, because national, I don't think there's not a lot of places for under 100,000. So let's say under 100,000 up to 200,000. That would be our first-time home buyers entering into the market in most cases. Then we have our step-ups between 200 and 300, and of course over 300 is our further step-ups. Now, if there's nothing in the 100 to 200,000 price range, people are going higher. The median housing price, like I said, in our area, well, nationally it was $263,800 in June. Right. Our area, it's around $225 to $235, I think they said. So our first-time home buyers are having to go deeper into their pocket because the first house they can buy is over $200,000, which is a lot of pressure on them.
Yes, it is.
Commercials, what are you predicting now?
And more great information. What we're going to have right after this. Be right back. I'm missing my turban.
It's great working with the great Berdini.
It's really hard to get predictions. I'm just not feeling it without that on my head, you know.
you need your wrap.
I do.
You need your wrap.
I do.
All right, but let's finish up on this because this is some really cool stuff. Okay, so the fourth prediction, homes that do hit will move fast. First of all, people spend a lot of time and stress looking for a house. Boy, do they ever. I remember buying. It's just a lot that you go through. It's a heartache. You put offers in, they're gone. You put another offer in, it's gone. You know, you're outbid, whatever it may be.
People that have been pre-qualified for a year, and they've been looking
and looking,
and they can't find anything.
So
and they get discouraged.
Right. So some of the other reasons that if they do get that house for, let's say, $150,000, they ain't moving. It took them too long to get that house.
Let me ask you something. How many times have you pre-qualified a buyer recently? They're all set. They're all excited. They're going out. They're looking. They hook up with a realtor. They can't find nothing. No. And then you don't hear nothing from them.
A long time.
And then you say, what happened? Oh, we just decided to, sign another lease.
Right.
How many times have you heard that?
A lot. So that's part of what the prediction is about. But the homes that do hit will move fast. So this I thought was really interesting too. Inventory is not only making homes less affordable, it is also making them much harder to catch if you can find one that is on the market. Nationally, the share of homes still on the market after 2 months is 47%, the lowest since Trulia began measuring this. Back in 2012, it was 57% of the homes were unsold after 2 months. Location plays a role too. Larger markets where inventory has fallen most are moving fast. What this basically is saying, 47% of the homes that
are listed
are gone. So quite frankly, half the homes out there. So out of all the homes that are listed on the market, half of them go within the first 2 months. What does that say, Bear?
It says that if you find a home, don't sit on it. Don't think about it.
Don't say,
put your offer in.
Yes.
And then sit on it.
Let me have mom and dad come and look over the weekend.
Yeah, no, it'll be gone. You have a 15-day inspection period when you write a contract. Utilize it.
They're going
get it under
that
contract,
fast,
or you're not going to get it.
Right.
And I tell everybody that. And
I know.
People don't believe me till they lose their dream home.
You know what? I think a lot of times they don't believe the real estate agent because they think, oh, they're just trying to make a commission or whatever. No, guys, it really isn't that. We'll tell you the exact same thing.
They are trying to make a commission.
Well, it's their job.
But they're telling them the truth.
They're telling them the truth. The market is that hot.
All right, what about mortgage rates?
The fifth prediction is mortgage rates will stay low.
Yep,
So here's what it has to say about that. Consistently low rates have stumped economists for years, which it has. We're all scratching our heads saying, what? Especially since the Federal Reserve began raising short-term interest rates in December. In that long run, continued action by the Fed to push mortgage rates upward. For now, however, investor confidence in the U.S. is keeping rates at a low. If investors pull their money out of the U.S. Treasury bonds, which is what we tell everyone, bonds are what mortgage rates are tied to. If the investors pull their money out of bonds, then interest rates will absolutely spike very fast, just like it did after the elections in November. In either case, this was interesting, in either case, interest rates would have to close to double from what they are right now to make renting more attractive than buying.
That's crazy to think.
Isn't that crazy? I love that.
Yes. You know what?
Buying is still a better deal.
Buying is, as long as you're going to stay for a few years. So, you know what? Go get pre-qualified. Go find a good realtor. Buy a home now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the moral to this story.
Absolutely.
You know? 5 predictions on the market, all that. Low inventory, we know that. Get out there, get in the game, and hold on to the home. Don't think you're going to flip it, though.
No.
It's just not a flipper's market.
Right.
All right, great information on the market. So many great predictions.
I feel like we did that really fast.
We did. Let's talk about upcoming events.
Okay, what do we got coming up? We always have stuff coming up.
Yeah, you know what? I heard one of our great signature events is sold out.
Bowling for Boobs.
Yeah, September 26th. So sorry if you missed out on a lane. They're all gone. But you can still be a spectator.
Right.
And you can still support the event with some of the different things like your memory board. I know you love to talk about that. It's a bowling event. It's for breast cancer awareness. September 26th at Lane Glow in Newport Richey on Old 54. Right. Come on out, support it. Wear your bra, men, wear your bra.
Now I do want to just mention real quick before that though, and yes, you're right, Bowling for Boobs is one of my my favorite signature events. But we're also partnering with Taste of Trinity. Yay!
Yes.
if you like food and all about the restaurants in the Trinity area, that's going to be a great event. And that is on September 9th. And that is on a Saturday morning. And it is at Seven Springs Middle School. And
all the proceeds for that go in and support the school. So another great thing, you know, if you want to learn more about these events and other things, you can go online.
Yep.
WPBA.rocks, our new domain. How about that?
Right.
I love that.
.biz still works too, but yeah, I love that.
WPBA.rocks. Yes, so pretty awesome.
You know, all of the information on all of our events that are coming up and various things, or reach out to Maria Johnson. Everybody knows Maria. But anyway,
Maria?
We appreciate you guys watching. Please share the show, like us, share us, Twitter us out there.
Can I make one more prediction?
Sure.
I don't want to do it.
He doesn't want
my
to make
prediction
any,
is you will watch the show next week and come back and see more great information. So,
thank you everyone for watching. We are Today and Every Day.
Moving forward, don't forget to share us on social media.
Thanks. See everybody next week. Bye-bye.